Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of obscure, well, sort of obscure toy lines from the 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way up to about 10 years ago. And this is episode 49. First up, we'll take a look at Rotten Egg by Toy Biz in 1998. So this is borderline toy slash board game. What Rotten Egg is basically a hot potato game, but you record the name of the players and you can record some fun little jabs and insults to have it tossed around. So you pass it to the player whose name is called, and if the toy itself says its name Rotten Egg when you catch it, you're eliminated. So, a fun little thing, definitely getting the electronics into the board games in the late 90s. I see a lot of these at flea markets, just the toy, mostly with corroded battery packs, but an interesting addition to sort of obscure toy lines. Next up is Extreme Ghostbusters by Trendmasters, 1997. So this was kind of the follow-up to the real Ghostbusters. Extreme Ghostbusters was a cartoon series that ran for 2 seasons, and it ended with the culmination of the team-up of the real Ghostbusters and the Extreme Ghostbusters taking on a final villain. So the toys are based off the Extreme Ghostbusters. You also got Egon, who was in the cartoon as a mentor. I vaguely remember this, and I thought the art style was pretty cool. The toys look good. An interesting note, all of the main characters had a toy out, including Slimer, except for the one character that was in a wheelchair. I think production costs would have been just too much. Maybe Series 2 would have carried him. Photon by Enertech, 1986. So these were based off the indoor laser arenas from the mid-80s up to the 90s. So this was Photon, much like Laser Quest. You basically put batteries into your helmet, your laser gun, and you could wear and buy different parts of armor to give extra targets. So this was laser tag at home, and this was like the first real chance where you got to actually feel like you were playing a video game. This was definitely a novelty at the time, but I remember wanting these as a kid, specifically because I saw in the Tom Hanks movie Big. I did eventually get a knockoff version. Next up, one of the newer additions to obscure toy lines is Coda from Playskool, 2007. So I didn't have kids in 2007, so I can see how this one passed me by completely, but checking it out now, I think it's pretty cool. I think my daughter would enjoy it. So Coda was made for 3 to 6 year olds. It could move around slightly, its head turned, it would roar, it would blink, it would play music, you could feed it leaves, it wagged its tail, and it was supposed to be the first in a series of animatronic toy dinosaurs that you could buy. Unfortunately, Coda was the only one that came out, and now it is discontinued. It retailed for about $300 20 years ago. Now here's one for the ladies. Swan Crossing, Playmates, 1992. Alright, you want to get obscure? Let's get obscure. So this was Swan's Crossing. It was an American teen drama series that aired for 13 weeks, 13 episodes, in syndication from June 29th until September 25th in 1992. A Swan's Crossing series of dolls and action figures and a rock concert playset were produced for this short-lived series. This isn't toy related, but I think it's noteworthy that a young Sarah Michelle Gellar starred in this short-lived TV show. Next up, SSP Smash Up Derby by Kenner, 1972. So after doing a little research and watching the YouTube clips of this, I really want to find this out in the wild or at a toy show. Of course, it would need all of its pieces. Basically, the set came with 2 ramps and you get 2 cars with ripcords. It would spin the back 2 tires, and the goal would be to have the 2 cars crash into each other. The cars would smash, and the hood, the trunk, the wheels, the doors would pop off, and they were interchangeable. Other cars were available. I'd love to run into this somewhere because it looks so cool. Kenner, 1972. And that's going to do it for another episode of Obscure. well, sort of obscure toy lines from the 60s all the way up to today. So again, this was episode 49, guys, and I would love to hit that milestone of 50 episodes for this toy series, but that's only possible from the viewers and the comments. So let me know, guys, is there something that I didn't cover yet, something that you remember from your childhood, something you vaguely remember that you want me to look into? Because again, I'd love to hit 50 episodes for this toy series. So thanks again for watching, guys, and being a part of this ride, and hopefully we'll see you for another episode.